Hello, I'm Mike Wildman and this is Ruby, the Cockapoo. Today we're going to be demonstrating a pet trim on Ruby, which is in the Teddybear style. We might be doing some things different. We're going to leave her ears slightly full and long because that's a request of the owner. I'm going to use the wall clipper today and I'm going to take the yellow comb attachment and just slip it onto the clipper, and we're just going to clip her body off first of all, and it's set down to the 30 setting. So we'll start at the back of the head there, and we're going to work our way down the top line and take it to the root of the tail. So just clip it in nice long straight strokes, let the clipper do the work for you, and just take it nice and gently. Keep going back over it. Today I'm grooming Ruby on a new designed grooming table which is known as the Groomer's Best Friend. It's a new piece of equipment available on the market. And it's a vacuum system, this tray, which will take away all this unwanted hair as you're working. It keeps the table area nice and clean and tidy, and also the floor area nice and clean and tidy. It's really good if you've got an open view salon, which I have. It helps to keep the place looking nice, tidy and clean. It's got some lights fitted onto the grooming tray, which also help with looking at the dog from underneath and around. It's just an added nice feature, but the lights are useful. So just keep coming over the body with the clipper. You just go over the top of the thigh. Ruby's been shampooed in a texturising shampoo. Cockapoos come in all shapes and sizes. They should be medium-sized, but there is no breed standard written for them yet. Her coat texture is quite dry, quite woolly, so I've tried to remain her texture, so I've used a texturising shampoo that keeps keeping her texture nice and crisp and full. She's been really well prepared and combed out just before we started filming, after being blow dried this morning. Correct bathing and drying is very important when doing any clipping or scissoring work. I'm just going to comb up the coat again and lift it up. And in the meantime, we can just gather some of this hair again. And send it down the chute to the hoover. If you come right down around the rib, cockers and poodles supposedly are supposed to have a good spring of rib and a good depth to the body. So you'd expect to see it in a Cockapoo being a mix of the two breeds. And you want to show this off, taking it nice and tight underneath. Being tall, I like to higher the table up a little bit. When going underneath, it'll enable me to see a bit better. Just come down to the top of the leg. No need to dig into it, just glide the clipper off. We're going to scissor the legs in later on. These comb attachments are very popular now, especially in the salon. Lots of people are using them. The coat does have to be really well prepared before you use these. If there's any knotting or tangles in the coat, they will snag on the hair and just won't glide through with ease. Like I say, there's a little one just there that's got in. The clipper wouldn't go through that, which is a good example to show you. So we're continuing to clip over the body, down the shoulder, to the top of the leg, where it meets the elbow. Wrap round under the rib cage. Come down in nice long straight strokes, allowing the clipper to do the work for you. Don't force it through or rush it. Just keep going back over it to make sure you've got all these hairs. We're just clipping the body. We're going to scissor the legs. We do want to just come over the top of this thigh. Standing from behind should have a nice shape. just come over the rear here and down tight, just to show some angulation. We're looking to show off the dog's rear assembly in here. And if you want to know where to stop, you could just lift the leg up where the natural bend is in the leg. That's about the point where you want to stop. And then we can have it a bit fuller around the lower leg. Just clearing any hair all the time as we go. So just keep going over the body. We're generally just roughing it off at first, and then later on we can just go over and tidy any bits up and soften it with the scissors. As I said earlier, these comb attachments are all the rage nowadays, leaving a nice length of coat and saving the work with the scissors on the body. I'm just going to clip around the dog's bottom here. I'm using the red comb attachment, which is a bit shorter. It helps with stop any irritation. Don't want to clip it really, really close, just over around the private parts there, and the sanitary area as well on the inside of the rear leg at the top. Just taking all this nice and short. Keep the dog's leg nice and close to her body, don't unstabilise her or lift it too high up. To think of the dog's security and comfort. Good girl, Ruby. You can also just lift them onto the back leg if you're struggling to see under there, and just take it up just underneath the belly here. Good girl. Just clearing the table again, any hair before we start to do the legs. The dogs are usually very comfortable about the noise of the vacuum because they're used to having the blow dryer or the high velocity dryer on them, so it's not much dissimilar in sound really. So when a puppy first comes to me, I like to put them on the table before I do attempt to dry them and make sure they're comfortable with this noise first of all. It makes them feel more secure and confident. It's really handy when training the dogs on the table. Get them used to the dryer before I put the dryer on. Just let them know about the noise. She's completely comfortable with the noise. She's more than happy and used to it. This table that I'm working on today is an all-in-one unit. So the tray is already attached to the table and it's hydraulic. And as you can see, the lights are encased and watertight as well. And then all the hair just goes into this handy. The vacuum is encased in this case in here. It needs emptied only about once a week. It can also be brought out of the cabinet and be used in the salon to do all the other hoovering. It's got a long extension pole so I can do my walls and all the cobwebs and dust bits that hang around. So I'm just going to start now trimming Ruby's legs in. I'm going to leave the head till last. I always trim the heads last, but start on the legs first. Okay. So just comb all the hair up. We'll switch to some curved scissors. So starting on the leg, I'm going to come to the foot first and just put the foot in. So we don't want to put, I'm going to give it a nice angle in here. So you just push all the hair down. If you run the scissor down, you'll be able to find out where your foot is. And we're just going to scissor around the foot, right the way around. You need to keep moving when you're grooming dogs. Don't stand static. Makes it a lot easier for you. So we just trim that foot around. We're not taking it too tight. Nice and neat, and almost bevel the foot up So we're not trimming onto it like that angle, we're trying to keep the scissor at this angle and coming up and giving this nice curve to the foot. Clearing the hair out the way. Where we've done the clipper work to, which we stopped here just over the dog's hip to the first thigh, we can just blend in with the scissors, sweeping around. We're looking for quite a full leg, but we're looking to show, good girl, we're looking to show off the shape and the bend of the dog's stifle. We're working towards the dog's general anatomy. It looks more attractive if the dog's got a better shape to the back, to the rear leg. If they're a little bit straight in this area, in the back leg, and don't have the angulation, you can trim the angulation in by sweeping it in tighter here, taking it in tighter there, and leaving some hair on the outer of the hock there. It just gives a more accentuated look to the back leg. But we are looking for balance, so bear that in mind when you're doing it. Good girl. I never used to leave the tools on the table. Before I had the tray, I would remove the combs and the scissors all the time. But since I've had the tray, I can safely leave things on the table because they don't get knocked off now with just this little lip. That's just one of the other added benefits to the grooming tray. You don't have to have the whole table and tray. You can have the trays fitted to any grooming table you already have in your salon. They come made to measure, and it is in a range of colours to suit your salon furniture. This one is in a nice lilac colour. Looking for nice tubey legs. When scissoring, if you start at the top and come down in a straight line right to the floor. When you do this, don't stop and then start again. Keep a continuous line flowing right down to the floor. It'll help with a better finish and keeping my hand very still, and the only thing that's opening, good girl, is the only thing that's working is my thumb. I support the scissors with the rest of my hand. You can repeat the process on the inside of the leg. Just trim off any excess hair between the front legs. We want to see some daylight between the two legs, but not too much. But we do want to separate these legs so it's not just one mass of hair. Using the curved scissors helps you get around a rounder effect. Comb up again, and then trim around and down. If you stand at the side, you want to get some shape to her front. You can lift a dog off the ground, give them a bit more leg length by taking it in nice and tight here. Good girl, stand up. We can finish these legs off a bit later on, just putting the rough shape in at first. We're looking for the two legs to balance. Everything should balance and be in symmetry. So looking for nice chunky legs, not taking too much off. This is the idea with the teddy bear trim. Her pads were clipped out earlier when she was bathed and blow dried at the salon. Okay, if I just turn around, good girl. Comb it all up on the inside of the leg, and taking from the hock joint, we'll just trim up. Combing whilst grooming is very important, lifting all the hair up. These combs are wonderful. It's the Greyhound comb. Very light and easy to use, not too heavy. I'm just going to take this a little bit tighter in here. I'm going quite close to the muscle. It will just give her a better shape. Then comb all this up, trying to create angulation in the rear. Just take the time again to clear the hair. Got quite a good suction on it, so if you just guide the hair towards the opening and turn it on, it'll take the hair away. By standing at the side, just using the curved scissors again to create this shape here. So her leg's quite full on the outside, but I'm taking it quite tight here and also here. Good girl. And then leaving the leg hair quite full on the outer side, trimming down to the ground. Looking to get a little bit of style. The shaping's in, I'm just tidying it now. Okay, so we're just going to clear the table again, the hair, and then just trim a nice and tidy underline. It's got to be a relatively manageable trim for the owner, so it is quite short, the coat, you know. I have taken a good lot off it, but still trying to keep this nice teddy bear natural soft look, but nice and tight underneath the stomach and belly area. You don't want any excess hair hanging under here, so trim it right close as you can. I've trimmed the legs in, but I'm just going to do a little bit more finishing on them later on. Just wanted to get mostly the hair off. I'll move to the head, do the head, and then we'll tidy everything up, and I'll just skim over the body with the scissors, making sure we've got all the little bits later in a second or two. As you can see, we're taking the body quite tight, so to get a nice balance on the head, we've got to take quite a lot off the head, but we're trying to keep the head nice and rounded. If we pull all the hair forward first of all, just over her eyes, and want to clear the eye area, so just hold your dog in position and just come across the eye. Trim quite close around the eye. You want to open up her expression. The owners always like to see the dog's eyes, and the dogs like to see where they're going also. So it's nice to keep this area nice and short anyway. Just trim around here where they get sleep, and just take it out at the corner of the eye. And now we can see her eye, really pretty. Just come over the bridge of the nose there, into the stop. So that's just cleared the eye area. From the back of the head, if you just comb out behind the ear, take it nice and close behind the ear. And then we're going to blend the neck into the head. So lift it all up with the comb, keep the head in a nice position. Just blend it into the back of the neck. And then take the ear back and comb all this hair back. And we're just trimming around from under the jaw, all the excess hair that hangs off, just trying to round it off and keeping this rounded shape. Comb it all up again and out. Nice and close, just below the ear. Enables the ear when it's dropped to sit in nice and flush with the head. Just blend in the top of the ear. Just comb all that foot up, blend in the top of the ear. We want a bit of height on top of the head there. It's not flat. So come around with the curved scissor. Keep combing and lifting it up. Stay good, girl. And then we can comb up over the muzzle. And just with the thinners, we can just gently thin out here. Her owner requested me to thin this out a bit here, so just do it gently with the thinning scissors. We want to still leave our face quite full. As I say, we cleared the eye area before. Just using the thinners will soften that area a bit. Pull the hair down under the jaw. Just keep lifting up the hair. You'll see any bits extra hanging over that you need to just take off. And then repeat the process on the other side, and then we can just tidy it all up. Okay, so we're just going to do Ruby's ear. Ruby's owner likes her ears very full and natural and doesn't like them scissored or clippered into her jawline. She likes them very, very natural. And her tail does balance that because that's nice and full as well. But usually on teddy bear trims, we would take the ear a lot shorter and incorporate it more into the head, giving a more round appearance of that like of the teddy bear, which is what the cut we were looking for. But she is in a natural trim, having no breed standard for these breeds. It is all trial and error with them, and you have to take into account the dog's balance, anatomy and structure and body, and then the bone and substance they have. If you want to leave some hair on, you just you need to just like look at the dog as a whole, and not all two. I don't have any cockapoos that look the same. They're all so different sizes, shapes, colours. So we're just trying to give it a nice balanced, even trim, a cute look. It's quite a rough coat, so it's been all fluffed up, but it's a natural look really. So if we take the ear, comb it all down. We're not going to square the ear off because naturally the ear leather is lobular underneath the hair, so we're going to keep the softness to the look by not squaring it off. So we're just going to trim around ever so gently because, as I say, Ruby's owner likes her ear nice and full. Good girl. Just take some off on the other side as well. But very, very little is coming off the ear, that's all. Just round it off. Just pull it down, make sure we've got everywhere. Okay, and then we can repeat the process on the other side. So on the head as well, continuing, if you just pull the head up back, we're just taking it nice and tight underneath the jaw, just to the Adam's apple, nice and short and close there. I'm just softening it with thinners, taking all the edges off and just going around the shape I've already put in, but I'm just blending and just softening all the edges and making it look nice and neat and full, but trying to keep it as natural looking as possible. So if you just use your thinners just to soften all those edges and ends, leaving a nice finish that's quite natural. As you can see, we've cleared this area with the scissors and now we're thinning it and blending it all in, and we've got a lovely eye and expression there, and it's quite a natural, got a bit of buoyancy to the hair. It's a lovely coat on these Cockapoos, mixture of the two breeds. So just to take it tighter, just behind the ear with the scissors, just hold a muzzle and just tip it forward, and then you can just clear out behind the ear there. Just trying to keep her ears nice and flush to the head. I'm just tidying over the clipper work again now that her shape's in. Just like to make sure we've got all the hair off her. Now she's had a few shakes and things. Just tightening everything up really. So when you do the tail, if you just take all the hair to the end of the tailbone, good girl Ruby, you stayed as a good girl. And then just snip off all the end of the tail so it just meets where the hock is. But I always use, most breeds, take it off right to the end. You don't want any excess hair hanging. And then a tail is quite natural, like her ears are. That's where we get the balance with this one, because the owner likes the ears and the tail to be very, very natural. So we're just tidying the edges. We're not going to take a lot off the tail at all. Personal preference, I would probably take more off the tail and ears myself, and I do with others, but it's a request of the owner that we leave the hair slightly longer, and she does suit it anyway, Ruby. She really suits her long, blonde locks. No, stand up. Generally, dogs try to sit down when you do this point. So the longest point is just here. So if we start just at the back of the tail and we're just taking it round and curving it in and just tidying the edges. Good girl. And then if she just lifts her tail up, as she would in carriage, you can just comb it out to the sides. Good girl. And just trim around those edges. So when viewed from the back, when she's carrying it, it's a nice plume and it's evenly matched on both sides. And then if you just lower it down again, shake it out and just tidy around the edges again. And that's the tail done. Okay, so we're almost done now with Ruby's trim today. I'm just going to go over everything with my scissors, and this is where what we call finishing. So just by lifting everything up, all the hair, I'm just going to comb it all up through her body, and I'm just going to make sure, helps when they do shake, it gives you a hand. I'm just going to go over all these bits and just get a nicer finish on it now. Roughed out the shape earlier on, and this is just getting all the last bits shaping. So standing behind, just working a straight line over her back leg. And if you just look at the ground, I've took a lot of hair off Ruby today. Most of it's all gone down this chute, but there's only very, very little hair on the floor, which saves a lot of time at the end of grooming. If you can clean as you go, by letting the hoover and vacuum take away the hair from the tray, it saves you a lot of time between dogs. When you're doing about 8 dogs a day to 10 dogs a day, you're tidying all the time as you go, and the salon always remains smart looking. Okay, so we're just finishing off Ruby's trim now. We've just tidied her over, all the shape, and we're just about done. As you can see, we've used this wonderful piece of equipment all day on this trim. Not only has it saved time clearing up the floor and all that, it's helped my tools stay on the table. The extra lighting has been an added bonus to it. And also, if you're grooming in the shop all day, there's a lot of hair on the floor, and you've got blasters and hair dryers running. You haven't got all the hair on the floor. When a hairdryer or a blaster hits the hair, and usually you've got a snowstorm, I don't have any of that in my salon anymore. It's extremely good for health and well-being. We're not having all the hair hanging around in the air. It all goes straight away as the dog's groomed. It's a really time-saving piece of equipment in the salon now. Okay, so that's Ruby's groom finished for today. She will be coming back to see me in 6 weeks' time. Our owner's very good at brushing and maintaining her coat, so I don't need to see her before 6 weeks. She'll come in mat-free. And that's her done today. If the owner was struggling to keep the coat mat-free or groomed out, what I would suggest is that they bring the dog every third week and have the dog just a maintenance bath and blow dry, just to keep all the knots down to a minimum. If they can't do that and want to make it a little bit cheaper for themselves, they could bring the dog in fortnightly for a thorough brush through, which takes about 20 minutes just to give a dog a thorough brush through. That will keep the knots to a minimum.